I'm Jeff Ward, and the only agenda here is to make you think. Can Nikki Haley generate enough hate to win the presidential race? Yep, that's the issue. And it's based on my very unpopular take on how and why the American public votes. You don't vote in favor of something, you vote against someone. The more you want to vote against them, in all caps, the better. When you can generate enough hate toward the other person and there's enough haters, then you win. So let's apply that standard to our presidential race that involves the two oldest candidates of all time and two of the lowest rated candidates of all time. The reason Joe Biden won the presidency in 2020 is because he's not Donald Trump. If he wins in 2024, it's because he's not Donald Trump. A squirrel on the ballot beats Donald Trump in the popular vote. Joe Biden should be, by what we used to think were the important metrics, he should be riding the positive economic news. Because of most metrics, the economy is in pretty good shape. But the problem is with real data and real issues for old Joe is, number one, he can't communicate any good news. In fact, he can't communicate at all. Period. Number two, hating Joe Biden is more important to rural red America than any positive economic news. So it's a net zero for Joe Biden because it doesn't matter to the public, the voting public. As a rule, I think, hating the other side has far more weight and impact than anything having to do with the economy. When people say it's about the economy, no, it's not about the economy. Reverse that and say it's about how much you hate the other side. That decides the election. The economy won't decide it. Joe Biden falling down again and Donald Trump being Donald Trump will decide the election. Those are the categories. So Donald Trump could win again because even though he is a them, in all caps, them is a college-educated, wealthy sort of person from major urban areas. So those are all things rural red America hates. But Donald Trump could win again because he will help rural red America hate them. Again, all caps. He is, as I've said many, many times through the years, and he's masterful at it. And this is why people fight like crazy. I don't mean it literally, but want to fight like crazy for Donald Trump, not because they connect with him, not because he doesn't lie to them, not because it has anything to do with him whatsoever. It's because he is the middle finger and willing to be the middle finger that rural America hates. The people they want to give the finger to, Trump does it incredibly well. That's his popularity, I think. So that's the candidacy of the two old guys running. I encourage you, if you want to try to spin that any other way. That's the two old guys. Then there's Nikki Haley, which is interesting on every level. How can she win? The two most likely ways, I would say, one, Joe Biden falls down again, and Donald Trump is convicted of multiple felonies. Both of those things might happen. They really might happen. But where does she fit in on what I would say is if we want to do this, the political Venn diagram of hate, right? Because you're not going to get anywhere without hate. You've got to have the way. You're not going to win on some idea. You're not going to win on some policy. You're going to win on generating your side to hate their side. So where does Nikki Haley fit on the Venn diagram of hate? She can't get elected on policy. No one will. So how does she get elected with the not them vote? Right? For Joe Biden and Donald Trump, it's a clear level of hate. Their pattern is set. Their candidacy is set. Not for him, those not wanting Trump, right? So that's Joe Biden's position, not Trump. For Trump, it is not those people. And it's that simple. So where does she fit in all that? What's her not them position? Because nobody's better at it than Trump. This is where she could get into a problem. And that is because Trump is so good at this, her strategy so far is to say that I'm not old. And it seems sensible, right? I mean, it seems like a pretty logical plan to say, hey, listen, you've had enough of these old guys. Maybe it's somebody a little bit different, would be nice for a change. And it seems reasonable. I think most people obviously think they're both too old, but that hate factor is so strong. Can she penetrate that with being the I'm not old candidate? The problem I see with the I'm not an old guy candidate is, one, obviously it is not fitting on the Venn diagram of hate, but does Nikki Haley's I'm not an old guy position have enough hate? Where would it go on your Venn diagram of hate? Can it find any place on your Venn diagram of hate? Does I'm not one of the old guys strategy work with Trump followers? That's the real issue at the end of the day. I'm going to guess probably not. I'm going to guess it just doesn't do it. It probably doesn't move the hate needle enough. So I'm thinking now, you've probably noticed this already, I'm thinking now she might have already pivoted away from I'm not an old guy. Because there's a problem there with I'm not an old guy. And then his old people vote. So that can't work. So has she started to pivot away from the seemingly sensible position of, look, I'm not an old guy. I'm not falling down. I'm not the guy going to jail. I'm not any of those people. I'm not the old guy. Is she now repositioning herself as, ready, Trump followers? I'll pardon him. I'll pardon him. This would be plan B for her. Can this work? Plan B means that she moves away from I'm not the old guy to hey, Trump followers. Listen, I know he calls me Tricky Nicky. I know he says terrible things about me. I know he makes fun of me. But hey, Trump followers. And I know you don't care about anyone or anyone else or anything else but him. But here's what I'm going to do for you. This is plan B for Nikki Haley. Because old won't work. I'll pardon him. I'll make sure your guy doesn't go to jail. Does that work? Because I think it's pretty obvious she's pivoting to plan B already. And that is I can appeal to Trump followers. And that one seems pretty sensible too, right? I mean, she's not off when she says, hey, come on, everyone. I mean, one guy can't finish a sentence. The other guy is too old too. We need a fresh start here. It seems reasonable, but I don't think it's going to work. Plan B, hey, Trump followers, I'll pardon your guy. So that would mean, are you ready for this? This is the way the election sets up, I think. And we should own how stupid this is. I really think we should own how embarrassingly stupid this is. But this is the way the election sets up. I don't know if there's anything else. The very principled American voter of today will have an election that looks like this. Trump, not Trump, pardon Trump. There.